Hello, I'm Papa Biceps. You're watching the Thorin YouTube channel. And remember, don't f with Papito.
Well, back in 1.6, when you won all those majors, one thing I always wanted to know, because I thought was a really weird aspect, is it's possible, obviously, if someone gets lucky, maybe you get like a major where, you know, the bracket's a bit weird and upsets happen, and sometimes you can win against like smaller teams. When I actually go back now, dude, and look at all the teams you played in those major finals in 1.6, these are like the best teams of all time. These are like the best Swedish teams, the best Danish teams, the best Ukrainian team. Like, these are the absolute best teams. Did the team that you were on, what was your mentality when you would go into like a big major final? Because what's weird is from the outside, it always looked like you were the underdogs, but you won most of the time. So were we wrong? Were you not actually the underdog? Were you secretly just awesome in finals? What was the secret to this team in this sense? Like, did you ever think you were the underdog against these fucking, you know, Forrest and Zet and fucking like all the best players ever? Would you ever think you were underdog in a match? Did you believe you were better than them?
Actually, we never, I don't think we ever fought like, oh, it's Forrest or Zet, or, you know, we never were like this one guy, because we kind of felt like a team. And it was like, yeah, it felt that we are not the favorite of the tournament, but I personally liked it. It actually gave you an edge on the guys, and especially with me like screaming and doing this mental warfare, it was even better because we don't have anything to lose and they have a lot of to lose. So if you were extra also screaming at the guys and telling them that, yeah, you're losing, where are you, bro? Like, where are you in the server? It would mean extra, like, it was painful for them.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, I felt like it gave us extra motivation when people like, it's the country stuff, man. It's our national pride that whenever we are in a tough spot, we are able to bring the best from ourselves. Like, not only as fighters, but also as people. And even nowadays in this fucked up war world, our country was open. Our country was the most open, like to get the most people and help.
Sure, yes. Yeah.
Like I take pride in this. I take pride in my nation, and that's why I always, whenever even I had a chance to go to other team or go international, leave the team, I never wanted. I always wanted Polish team to be the best. I always dreamed of having, like, you know, the next VP in Poland, and I was fighting for it. But it wasn't meant to be, at least not from, you know, done by me. And I just hope that it can happen, because for me, as a Polish guy, it's so important to have a national team that is, you know, showing the best Counter-Strike, being there, like making us proud. Like,
is this why you're often posting about Nine then, right? I notice you often try to big them up and tell people what's going on with them and stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, I hope they can jump, you know, over the hump, but it's really hard. And then you see like Snacks going to Gamer Legion, like Dycha going to ENVYUs and stuff like that. And yeah, it's everything is for me wild. But I was always this guy who wanted to bring the best for our nation. And I'm just at this point where, after this Mercedes case, after, you know, talking with, seeing all these interviews from the guys and from my team, I was like, actually I got cancelled. Like, I felt like I got cancelled by my Polish fans and by my Polish teammates in the past, just because I got a car, which actually is funny. I was watching the TSL was making a joke today about it. The fun fact about it is that I started after we lost Major. I went out on Kerby because he wrote this tweet that they weren't the best.
Right.
And I went all out and said, oh, I hope you're ready for the next event, because we are going to smash you. And when it came to Anton, he was also very proud guy, and he was always the guy of his word. So he very respected someone who's holding his word. And that's whenever we dealt with him, it was always about the word, right? And that's how we also learned about how it is in esports. I never met anyone who was more honest as an owner, and I think that also pushed him into this, because I was like that we are going to destroy these guys. We are going to win against Fnatic. We are going to own Astralis. Oh, we did this. Now we will own SK. And he was like, oh my God, man. Now I was just,
all right, he's vibing with it, right?
And the guys are like, bro, yeah, type it. Like, my team, some of my guys were like, yeah, do it, man. I was like, I didn't care. And then when it happened, right? Like, should I take it? should I take it? Yeah, take it. Like inside the team, some of the guys are like, take it, man. What the fuck are you thinking about? And then I'm talking with Anton. I'm like, okay, so when there was like a salary up for the team, I was fighting for Snacks and Bialy. So it's not only for me, Pasha and Neo. So, and it worked out, right? I was like, cut my salary and give them. Yeah, bro, you're like, everyone will get the rice. I'm like, perfect. Yeah. The guys, they don't care. Then when it's the situation with car, I'm like going to Anton and saying, bro, I mean, I can, if I take this, the team will be gone. If this happens, it needs someone. I mean, guys also needs to get something. Like especially Neo needs to get something because I was doing this with him the whole time, and Anton's like, yeah, I know that, but I cannot do it right now because this will break the team. I'm like, yeah, okay, perfect. As long as Neo can get something in future, I'm happy with it. So you can get this E-class for 40,000. 40,000. We were earning 15,000 euro per month, plus tournaments, plus we were millions in potential percentage in company, and I'm like, okay, so I fixed that. Should be fine. Like guys are saying to take. I asked them 20 times if I should take it. The guy who's was the most quiet was Neo, but I did like I talked with Anton. I told him I talked with Anton, bro, so it should be fine. And in the end, I take it, and I'm like, Anton, can I add my money so I can get a bigger car for family? He's like, bro, do whatever you want. You only get this. Okay, so I buy a bigger car. I invest like half of the money it is worth.
Oh, so people didn't know some of this was your money as well, right? I see.
Over half of this was
right, okay.
Personal money. And then I'm like asking guys if I should give them money back for the car, because I got the car, so guys, I can give you the money.
Right.
If you want, I can send you the money. I don't want the team to be owned by this. And everyone's like, I don't want the fucking money. Like, I'm like, oh, okay. Then yeah, that's a quote of one of the guys. I was like, no problem, okay. And chill. And so it seems fine, okay? Like I got everything sorted out. I know it's not fine in the end, but I feel like I can deal with it whenever Anton delivers what he promised me to deliver. And he always delivered. So I take it. And then suddenly I have this message from current CEO, Roman Dvoryankin, to make a picture. And I'm like, bro, what picture? Yeah, make a picture that you got a car. Like, why? This will destroy everything. This will destroy me. This will destroy the team. This will be like the end. He's like, no, don't worry. It's just for Anton. Okay, I do it. They posted it, and okay. It looked like. And no, they told me to post it. And they told me, to make it not before, right? Just after. So nobody knows that I invested money. Nobody knows that I negotiated with Anton for others. Nobody knows about me negotiating with the team. Nobody talks about the team, say they didn't care, but they cared. And it's like, nobody talks about this, but I got cancelled. So honestly, I would prefer to be Ocelot cancelled than this cancelled. Yeah, at least.
I get what you mean.
Like, guys, there are two ways of being cancelled. You can get cancelled and you're kicked ass on the street, or you can get cancelled and go to Dubai, man. I prefer the other way.
True. By the way, along these lines, when you said earlier that if the team was able to stay together for like whatever it was, 4 years or something, you'd also get like a percentage of the company. Doesn't that mean basically like you guys almost made it and then they just blew the team up right at the end? Like you must have been really close to the number of years, right?
1 year.
So that's all you. And was it that people just had to agree not to kick someone? You had to keep all the 5 players together. Was the logic, right?
Yes, and no, and be top 10 team.
Right. Okay.
Like during the whole term of this contract, that we need to be a top 10 team.
Right.
And Anton at the beginning said top 5. I made it to top 10. Okay. And trust me, we would be top 10. Like when you sit down, you talk and say, guys, you see this? These are millions.
Yep.
What we need to do is to be the best version we can be. bro, no way this talented bunch of guys wouldn't be that successful.
Sure. By the way, when it was at the end of 1.6, because I'm just thinking of this now because CS2 is coming, so it's like another moment where we're changing the era, right? When 1.6 ended and you look back, that's why I asked you the question from CSGO where you're like, I didn't win as much as we could have. It's insane how much you guys actually did win in 1.6. I mean, as you said, it was mainly the majors, it was mainly the biggest tournaments. It's not like you weren't the teams like the Fanatics or whatever who would win like, the 4 small tournaments in a row, but it's actually incredible how many majors you won by the end. Like, I think you actually have the most ever. I think it's you and I think the Na'Vi guys were maybe 1 behind. I think like Potty or whatever was like 1 behind. But like in general, I think you guys won the most majors ever. Doesn't that seem incredible to think back when you started as a player in Poland and even going to an international tournament seemed like a crazy idea, right? It's pretty amazing. I think you won the most world championships.
It's humbling. It's like, I when I think about this, how much it took, I almost have tears in my eyes, man. Like it took everything. Like don't take anything for granted. From me myself, it took everything. Nowadays I'm not playing for like half a year now in any team. I feel like, what is this energy? Like, what is this? I have so much more energy. Like my attitude level is super high. Like I'm getting so more sure of myself and stuff like that. And it's because I never had a break. I was giving all out. I was giving all out. And now I felt like when I retired, I felt so empty. I never felt so full like now. And I can tell you that age is just a number in esports. The thing which is the most important is your mentality, is how you build the setup around players, how you build, your setup to be actually, be able to be in esports, to be in Counter-Strike. But not only Counter-Strike, esports is a very, very tough sport mentally. And we started at the age of nowadays 13, 12. Me and Neo, and probably most of the guys were starting 13, 14, right? So this is super tough. And what we need more of fundamentals. We need to actually have people talking more inside the team, getting the pressure down from the guys, or making them excited about different stuff. I remember when I was talking and motivating people, sometimes I was talking totally bullshit things. I was taking stories outside of the game, taking stories outside of this, what is happening on the server in esports. You can't really think about this all the time, right? And you need to constantly find reasons why to win. It's every tournament nowadays, every match nowadays, online even, is super hectic. It's super, super hard. And you need to find a way to actually deal with this pressure. Don't think that it will not damage players on the long run. It is a damaging sport. It is really hard. I mean, it's not sport, but it's, you know what I mean. It's really, really tough mentally. And we need people to have a good backup. And that's what I think happened for Astralis in Zonic. That's what I think happened for FaZe in Robban. That's what I think that I could go and check the list, but top of my head, these guys in the teams, Zonic was always very loud. Robban was a leader of the team, and he was always this father figure. You can see that this is this kind of persona that teams need. Coaches super needed, because it gives you the insight. But players should be their own coaches. They should do their own homework. It's not about, I need to play 3 hours of that match, 1 hour of aim map, and then I'm tired after 6 maps. Bro, we were playing 8 practice clan wars daily. Then we were playing deathmatch. Then we were searching nades, making tactics, doing dry runs. Yes, there was nothing else to do. There was no time to go out. If I really liked the girl and she really liked me before I was married, there is a story. Hey, there's a story.
Come on.
So we are like, we won WCG Monza. We are like, going high, and everything is fine. And maybe it was later. I'm on studies, right? So I'm going to the parties. Like sometimes you had time. So I go to the parties, and there's like this girl. Like, if you can imagine a perfect girl, right? That's her. Okay, so like we are chilling and stuff, and everything is super nice and super fun. And at some point, we go to the squash together and play some games. And she's like, "Oh, you're going to USA? Maybe you could buy me a lingerie, like
lingerie, right? Yes,
lingerie. Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, but how do I know that it's good?" "Oh, we can check it at my place." I'm like, connecting the dots as a player. I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. I need, I need everything from you. Like, exactly, I need to know every size. And then when I see the size, I'm like, yeah, let's go. I can do it. I can do it. I can help you. So I go. I buy. Guys are looking at me like, "Dad, what the fuck are you doing, man?" I'm just buying stuff for my colleague. And then I come back. And we like meet for a coffee at like I think like noon, and we are like chilling, talking. I gave it to her, right? And she's like, "Oh, thank you very much." Like, okay, so everything is fine. And then she's like, we're like sitting, and she's like, "So what now?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? What? I don't know. Are we going to cinema or park or maybe my place?" I'm like, "I'm going to practice."
Okay.
I have a practice. I don't have official in like next month. I'm going to practice. I'm going to practice with my team. Yeah.
That's just it, the end.
Yeah, I mean, the end is even worse. The end is even worse because next couple of days later, we meet to play squash, and she's saying that yeah, I can't go into details, but let's say that it was a mistake. Okay?
Yes,
let's
exactly.
Let's say it was.
People can imagine the end of the story.
It wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a mistake, but that's a cool story.
Well, it depends. If you want to win majors, maybe it wasn't a mistake. That's how you win majors, boys.
Hey, I won majors.
Exactly.
So it was worth it.
Yes.
And now I'm happy. Like, I have a beautiful wife. I have beautiful children. So overall, whatever, man, you have your time.
Yes. By the way, one thing I want to ask you about was, since you did all these projects after Virtus.pro, but as people will notice, they were always totally Polish teams, like you say. I did want to ask this question, which is the angle I think people don't think about is, think of what Neo did, guys. He went and played in FaZe Clan. Like, he actually tried an international team. And because this is one thing maybe people don't know, like the respect sometimes outside of your domestic scene will be bigger because the other team all remember when you were on top and you were the best team. You must have had offers like that, right? I bet if TaZ wanted to go and be in an international team, you could have done it, right?
Yeah, I mean, even when I was like removed from VP, I couldn't go to any team because they didn't want to announce anything before the deadline. So I was like staying there for 2 weeks, and nobody knew that I was actually removed. And a lot of teams were, creating lineups, and yeah, it was very unfortunate. But I could go, but I never wanted to go. Like, I'm just the guy who wanted, the national pride to shine, and I was putting everything. I was putting my pride on the side. I was putting my ego on the side. I was letting, being like treated in a way you don't treat other guys. And hey, I did this, and I'm proud of the results we got.
Because along these lines, the other thing I wanted to ask you about was, if someone doesn't know who you are, maybe they think like that what you were trying to do was just get a few more checks, play in a couple more teams, you're a famous player, you get some more salary. It's a big era when even tier 2 teams get paid. Like, it sounds like you actually, you were all in on this dream of doing the Honoris and the Kingwin lineups, right? You really believed it's possible to get a team back to the top, right?
I mean, I believed, and I think that we were super close. I think that when we were in Kingwin, we had a very good lineup to do it. And when we actually had to change reads, I was watching a lot of demos, and I even was like watching Dycha. I was like, everyone says he's cheating. No, okay, I will watch some demos of him, and I remember that he had really like medical stats on SGO and I was like watching the demo, and I'm like, I mean, how can he get better stats? He's playing everything correct. Like, this is really good. Like, he has really good idea what to do, how to move. So I was then like asking Lord to talk with him, because if I talk with him, I don't know him. So maybe it will be like, it will get blown out. And then my team will be, totally pissed at me. And I thought that if Lord will talk, like maybe it will go, under the radar. So he spoke with him, and he comes to EPC, and first day his mice broke. So I'm like, I will give you mine, and I give him mine mouse, and he's doing this insane stuff on my mice as well. So I was like, okay, this is like new thing. Like he was also amazing, no matter on what and where he played.
Oh, okay.
But
if people don't know, TaZ is talking about way before he joined ENVyUs. This is like 4 or 5 years ago now, right?
Yeah,
so he was just, you could tell Dycha was like a really good player from the beginning, right?
Yeah, he was, but he was also banned on 5 accounts.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, at least that's what people said. There was a huge fight.
Oh, so it was like a real thing that people thought he cheated.
Yeah,
like he must be cheating, right?
Everyone thought that he's cheating, and then I was like, I was writing to Valve and trying to clear him, and suddenly I get this email that that the accounts are not connected to him, and that he will be allowed to play in the major in case he will go there. So I'm like, bro, you are cleared. And he's like, I think he was in shock back then, and everyone was in shock actually. And we had a great team, but well, what happens is that when you are younger, you probably think strange things, and it was the same with Pavel. And I think that now he matured a lot. Or maybe not. I don't talk with him. I'm actually blocked by him on Twitter.
Okay.
And the thing is that when we played with each other, he was very emotional about winning, and he really wanted to win. And he kind of, when we played, he didn't really, he was like MJ, let's say. He was like Michael Jordan, right? But the other guys weren't like Michael Jordan.
Exactly, yes.
So at some point, the guys were like writing to me that, no way, it can be like that. And he just left to like one event. And I remember that I wrote to him that, like bro, you behave like you're like some god, but you're like nobody, and you treat others like that, like just fuck off. That's what I wrote, right? Because people like spamming me, and then I said, I'm sorry, I shouldn't write this, right? Because I thought at the moment I wrote this, that was fucking idiotic what I did. But he like decided to leave and quit, and then probably he hated me, and maybe hates still today. But I'm here to say that that was stupid as fuck to say that. But I also tried to talk a lot in this team with everyone, and it's really hard sometimes because we are very emotional as Polish guys.
Sure. Yes, if you're watching Dycha, it's all love, mate. Don't worry about it. Just unblock.
Yeah, actually,
it's all good.
I'm happy that he's doing well. And the fun fact is that when we played in Devils 1 and we practiced against all the best teams, like Ants who make second place, against Vitality and stuff like that, bro, we were owning everyone. We were like destroying everyone. Like Dycha was doing like 30 plus frags against most of the guys. Like Ralen was owning like we had crazy good lineup. And I don't know what I mean. I know what happened. Like the organization happened, but you need to get trust from the organization, and then you can build a team. It's like you need to get money in, and you need to get trust from owners that you can build something good, and then you can build. If it goes like you build stuff, but you don't get the full trust, it will crumble. It will crumble on so many levels. So that's why I actually respect Ocelot about and G2 a lot about it, because he got a lot of trust. And he was learning, he got the time to learn, couple years, couple millions, and he made a successful company, a successful story, right? Yeah, don't mind the cancellation. It happens. Like it's different story. I don't want to go into it.
Yeah, sure.
But overall, like the investors trusted in him, and he built a crazy good organization. Not on his own, but
No, of course
the
not.
knowledge is there. And what I see in him is that he has this self-belief, this fire that actually gives fire to other people. So I can imagine that when you are a very like emotional guy and you are able to show it to others in a good way, the other guys will do 110%. They will not go 100. They will go more. They want to do more because they can see how how, you know what I mean. It's in a positive way.
Oh, for sure.
It's just encouraging to do more because it's so cool to be in such environment.
Yes. No,
And
I know what you mean. Basically, what you're trying to say is like he gives them like a purpose, right? Like it makes you feel like you're doing something bigger if you work with someone like that, right?
Yeah, I just can see it. In some people, and I see the same in Zonic. When I, from the coaching stuff, like how he walks, how he reacts, how he lives every second, every clutch, every round. Like when the game ends, I know that the guy will talk with so much knowledge that it will just bring another level in the next games of the guys. So you can see it from certain guys. You can see the awkwardness of movement or of certain coaches or players, and these guys need encouragement. If you encourage a guy who's not really self aware of his skills, bro, you can reach a new height.
This might sound like a naive question, but I'll ask it in light of how you've talked in this interview. Why not? Why doesn't TaZ just become a coach? Sounds like you'd be a perfect candidate. You kind of been learning the skills of a coach your whole career in a way.
But I think that the main issue about me is that like I told you, in a fun way, I got cancelled. Many people see me as a guy who's selfish. Many people see me as a guy who thinks about himself, that it's not really nice to others. I mean, not Get-Right, because Get-Right was in shock when I told him, bro, that people don't like me. Like, what?
No, I'm actually surprised as well, dude. Like, is this mainly in the Polish scene, you mean? Because, like, look, people bring up
that in Poland.
People mention the Mercedes thing, but I thought they did that more as a meme, dude. I'm shocked that people actually like hated on you, think you're fucking an arsehole. So, okay.
Bro, I also thought that it's in a fun way.
Yeah.
But it didn't really look like a fun way.
Okay.
Bro, I cheer for 9, and people are like writing to me, stop cheering for 9 because you're being bad luck, man.
Holy moly.
I'm like, I'm not saying anything anymore, bro.
Sure.
It's like, I don't know. For me, like I'm open to any talks, but it's like I feel that people were a bit afraid. That's why I'm more open in this interview, but still I can't be all open because I believe that what is most important is what people remember about us, about me, about success of Polish Counter-Strike, and I don't care about myself that much to actually to break this. Like I prefer people to enjoy these times and remember like this times of VP of Golden 5 as something special, and that's super nice because I see a lot of people who drop by my stream or drop by my Facebook or any other social media. Like they are just proud of that they are from Poland or that were our fans or they cheered for us. And I will never take away from Pasha that he was funny, that he was a cool guy, right? But obviously we had different things also happening, right? I can take away the skill from the guys. I can take away that we all fought, right? But sometimes when you hit the certain walls, there's no way back. And I think that's a learning process. That's something we learned, right, during our life. Like I can tell you that Counter-Strike learned me life in a hard way.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, if people go to other jobs, I respect them so fucking much. Like I think that every person who goes to work is actually a fucking intelligent human being because you go to work. You no matter what you do, you hide your pride. You want to earn money for the food, for the family, man. And I am so lucky that I was able to play Counter-Strike. But my utmost respect goes to everyone else, like outside of esports, sport, bro. Like we are doing the easy job. This, Duncan, what we are doing, this is the easy job. This is special, man.
Yes.
And what we are delivering with this interview, what we are delivering with all this gaming, it gives people who have fucking hard lives and tough moments a little bit of joy.
Yes.
And this gives me the best feeling in the world when I can bring this to people.
No, it's very well said.
And when I say this, I tear up now. It's because my whole life I was watching my parents, and they got smashed by life, and they gave me a lot of,
Yeah, if people don't know, if you just think how...
Good example, good fundamentals of how to behave towards other people.
If people don't know, if you just think how old TaZ is, his parents obviously were around the period of like the end of the Soviet Union period where it ruled Poland and stuff. So I'm sure it was a hard time for those years, right? It must be crazy for your family, the success you've had, right? It must be amazing to your parents, all the majors you've won, all this money, these places you've got. It must be incredible for them, right?
I mean, I was studying for 10 years. I was just paying the tuition to study because my mother always dreamed of the higher education,
right?
Which she could never get it because of the certain things that happened, and I was just playing the game and studying. So and my brother was like, "Go to law. The lawyer is always good." And I went to law, and I was sleeping at the books. Okay. I was literally like, when you play Counter-Strike, learn tactics, lead the team. And then you were supposed to learn, like 300 pages in your head. I wasn't that smart. I wasn't smart enough. I didn't have enough stamina, man. I respect players like Carrigan who ended up their education to get the degree, man. It's like, I have no clue what is his situation, but the thing that he was able to, complete the education with playing Counter-Strike, it is something really hard.
By the way, I have a quick question because there's a story Richard told in a video, Richard Lewis, like not that long ago, I don't think. And it's what he's told me years ago, which goes like this. When you guys were in Virtus.pro, if people remember the timeline, this was around the time that all those American organizations from like Call of Duty and League of Legends came into CS. So like CLG and TSM and EnVyUs. And the story famously goes, I remember this, at the events, some of them, before they got a team, just like the big owners came to the events. So like Hastro from EnVyUs came, and like Steve Arhanset from Team Liquid came, and all these people came to the events to kind of like scout it out. Like, what are these players like? Which team would I offer for? And Richard's told the story that EnVyUs wanted you guys. They wanted, apparently Hastro loved you, and he wanted like the Polish guys to be his team. But Richard tells the story that you actually just told him straight up, like, don't sign us. You would hate it, basically. He said some story, like you sort of warned him away, like, we're not the team for you. Is this true? Do you remember this at all? Do you remember what happened in this situation? It's kind of an unusual story. Most people would just take the money, right?
But we were VP already. I think it was the period where our contract was ending as well.
Ah, right. Okay.
And that's I think that's the story. But yeah, I basically it was two things. First, I'm very how do you say? If you promise something to other person or someone is very good to you, you are good to him. So you're not doing sad things.
Okay.
And I was like very I treated VP warmly, and all of us did. Like we didn't want to change organization based on on the money, and I also told him that I told him that he don't want us. What I saw in Hastro is that he's just very chill dude and very very chill walking, and he don't want trouble. He don't want mess. We never were a mess in VP. Never. Like whatever happened in the team during my 23 years, whatever happened, only thing that in Kingwin happened went out, but other things were inside. It's locked.
Right.
Nobody will know about it. We will not talk about what happened. At least I hope we don't need to talk about it, man. But it was fun. So it's life. You go like this. it's a roller coaster, and you take it with everything, and you learn from it. But the thing is that I just felt that it's not good organization for us, not only from the point of that we are not good for them, but it's also, I think that they were like, the NA organizations were like, if you don't have results in like 3 months, they will kick you.
Oh, right.
Or they will
Okay.
they will go in and try to do changes.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't want to deal with it. I don't think it's good to go into this kind of spectrum. I know what we need to do to make like get success. I knew how to deal with the bad periods. I feel like we dealt with bad times the best from everyone. There will be no other
Yes.
team like us, or at least there was no other team until now who dealt with problems like we did. I can only say that how Navi dealt with what is happening in the world.
I see what you mean, right, sure.
This is I respect
Yes.
at most of it. The way Simple spoke, the way Simple evolved, in his interviews, in the way he became a man, bro. I'm just happy I'm the guy that kicked him from FPL.
FPL back in the day,
banned
yeah,
him. Yeah, I'm just proud.
Sure.
That I'm like this, even this, chewing gum on his shoe, because it's really amazing to see. I mean, he's still toxic. He's still
In his
still
own way.
toxic
In
from
his
time.
own way, for sure.
Yeah, but it is his own way.
Yes. By the way, since obviously a lot of fans are only going to have seen you in CSGO, I do have a couple more 1.6 questions. So one of them goes like this, which is, one thing I've found weird in life is, I don't know if other people are like this, so I'll just use my own example. I often really admire the people who use like a style or a strength that isn't mine. So for example, this might shock you, TaZ, but actually my favourite analyst is actually Maniac, because he's not anything like me. He's so classy, and he's so sort of like, everyone just likes him. It's so easy to be, he's just good at what he does, mate. Whereas like my style is a bit more raw, and I am like, I'm always the edgy joke and that. So to me, even though like it's a totally different skill set, I like sort of admire it because I don't have those skills. Well, in CS, right, it's similar scenario. I always really respect people like Get Right or like Cold Zera, the players who are like the perfect lurker. They just always play with the information. Yeah, they bait and they get the kill, they win the round. Like that, to me, that seems like mega. But I always like entry players. I like aggressive players. I like the player who runs in with the AK, because to do that, you actually have to have a certain amount of balls. Like, you don't know who's around that corner. It might be the best player in the world. You might look like an absolute fool when you do that. And back in 1.6 especially, you were one of the best at this, I think. You were one of those rare players that, like, I used to have a joke I would tell people, which is, some people played Counter-Strike like you die in real life if in the game you go around the corner. And I always used to say, bro, it's a video game. Like, someone has to go first. Like, someone has to create, well, now we know the term, like, create the space for everyone else, open the site. Like, back then, I feel like loads of players, if they want to be the star, no one wants that role. Everyone wants to be the Cold Zero. No one wants to be Fur in this analogy, right? TaZ was an entry player in 1.6, right? You were a pretty aggressive player.
I think that was kind of my style of leading the team as well. Like, I wanted to lead by example. So
right.
if I want to go in certain side, I want to go in first, and I will get certain flashes. I had a lot of trust towards my guys, like towards Cuban Lord with flashes. Right, I knew that there is Neo, or like I just knew that someone is behind me. We never created stuff like, oh, Neo, you go second and you get this kills, or like TaZ, you go first, so you get entry kill. It was natural. What we built was natural. Like, we didn't overthink what we were doing. The moment we were overthinking, we were just, arguing. So the thing is that for me, when you're entry, it's not only about the kills. Like, kills are the bonus. It's like the cherry on the top. What you want from your entry is information. You want from your entry, like, you want the guy to be like this, jump, the length jump. You want
long
the guy
jump,
to
yes.
jump the furthest possible, get the most info, and then everything's fine. Like, you want the guy to go like Boomich in
Navi, yeah.
He did. Like, he had terrible stats, but they were owning everyone. Like, he was doing so much space, so much information, like, and he was playing balls out. Like, he was, that's what I want from my entry fragger. Like, you play stupid for some people, but look at players who are like having best stats. If you go to like half of them, you will see that they are making like half of the plays very stupid, and they are dying, and the impact is like they are winning 4 rounds with amazing play, but they are losing like 6
Right.
on their own, that people can't really do anything from it. But they have so good, like, let's say they have Sipniks, they have Device, they have Simple, or they have Beat, right? If Simple goes and does something stupid. Like, the teams are built in a way to allow your players do certain ways. Like for us, Pasha was very aggressive. He used to die in situations that we couldn't really do anything, and that's why probably we had more trouble, because our team wasn't set up like for example Navi is like that, or was like with electronic, with Beat, with like super crazy aimers. Like our team was more about team play, so we also were learning with different players how to play the game, and it wasn't always the way we can play the game, so we were switching. I remember that I was okay, so in our team, it was like this. I wanted the fundamentals be in place. I wanted to build like this certain way of playing that is very strict, right? But what happened is that my guys were built in different ways. So if I wanted to play A, they were like doing A+, like they were doing some more. They were like trying to do stuff, right? And then we talked, and then we had the arguments. But our egos were so high that it wasn't really changing much, that they were like playing wars or stuff like that. We were still doing like, it's like you have this, how do you say, that you go to the certain spot and you don't want to cross it, right? Okay. But you were constantly crossing it and getting the best of it. It's because I was looking at this game that if I put the game in strict way, right, in a box, let's say, just for this story, if I make a box and this is how we play, right, people will start going out of the box. They will start learning how to go out of the box, but the box will not be too big. So if you go out, right, you can actually learn the best way to go out of it, and you will be the best at it, and nobody will be able to to stop you, because you are not going from this box. You're going from this spot, right? So you have fundamentals in place. Yes. And every time I stopped leading the team, it felt like this box was getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, because, I was the guy who was like fighting with the guys, like arguing with them that we cannot play in a certain way. And let's say when Cuban was leading, right, he was more open-minded. So he was allowing this box grow. And we were coming to a certain spot where we were just playing total trash, because we don't have any rules anymore. We just play like a mixed team, right? We need to call everything from spawn, like A, B, C, D, E. And I was more of a guy that I want to call stuff from spawn, not like rush B, rush A, or do exec. It happened, obviously, but it was more about, having a certain way of start the round. So we know that it can't be like lost at the start. And that's how it is for me with entry fraggers, with thinking about the game. If you don't have anything to stand on, you will fall.
People might know that in CS 1.6, in the period of your career, there was stats, like HLTV used to have them, but famously they took them away. And I believe they did like a page you can look at now that shows like the overall stats, but it's obviously not as good as like the stats engine they have in CSGO. We can look at every event and what someone's stats are, the rating. But I actually had a guy who works for that website, Esports Earnings, where it lists all the like prize money everyone's run. And because he's a super nerd, TaZ, he went back in 1.6 and just for fun, because he's a nerd, looked at all the old majors, right? And he looked at all the demos and he just recorded all the stats, right? And did it by hand. And basically, just as I say, like he's a nutter, he's just a guy who must love CS history. And he sent me this document, right, of like what all the different tournaments was. And so I thought I'd tell you this because it's an interesting piece of info. If I ask a fan, they're going to think it's like simple in CSGO, and like Neo must have won every MVP ever, and because it was simple in CSGO, it's Neo and 1%. I can tell you, if you go back, there are a couple of majors that you guys won where TaZ had the best stats. There are actually a couple, like I think ESWC 2007, you had like bonkers like kills per round or something. You had one tournament at the end, I think the last IEM, you had like some insane rating that would have been like, like Marklov's number or something. So there were actually a couple of tournaments where TaZ on paper, and like the reason I bring this up is they didn't used to do MVPs till the very end of CS 1.6, if you remember. Like it's not like CSGO where every event gets the medal and all. So you never really got them. So I thought I would just tell you now, there were actually a couple of tournaments where TaZ was potentially the best player in the world. Sound plausible?
Hey,
it's pretty good, right?
No, you know what? I remember. I always remember one thing. Like when we played WC 2009, is that we played this final against Fnatic, like the crazy overtimes,
Yes.
like crazy clutch from Lord, clutches from Lord, and we won this game against all odds. And then we are like walking behind the stage for the medals, and MTW was like third, right? And there is Zonic like sitting, and he's like, "TaZ, well play, man. You are the MVP, man." I was like,
Okay.
I I remember this till this day. That's how much it was worth for me, I was like always when I played, I thought about myself. I wanted to be the best. I wanted to have the best stats. I wanted to be the guy who's carrying the team. But at some point, when we created a team with Neo, it was like, okay, I don't have anyone to go out for. Like, if Neo is in my team, he's not my arch enemy, and he's like it's not motivating as much. But it was still motivating when I played with Philip to be better than him. Even from I was leading and stuff. I wanted to get these frags. I was putting extra hours. I tried to to hang on to him, but yeah, it's for me, whatever people from inside the teams told me was super, super important. And I remember what I told to my guys, that guys, fuck the comments. Like, there will be a lot of people who will tell you bad, mean things just so you feel bad and they feel good. It's not about that these guys, these fans, right? Or these guys on HLTV are, I don't know, bad or are mean. It's just, for them, it's a joke. Or for them, it's funny when they write this. And if you keep on reading comments, it will get into your head.
Yes.
So the most important thing is what we guys think. Our 5 inside. It's like, we only respect our 5 opinions in the team, right? And if there is a coach, 6. So for me, it was super important. And when I played longer and longer, I learned that it's really hard for everyone to understand this. And we kind of were breaking each other inside the team at some point. And I mean, this is, it happens because I feel like not everyone is ready to win. Not everyone is ready to lose big. You are not ready to be like the best player in the world, or like, be on everyone's lips. Like, every step of this in esports is a learning process. So you learn who you are as a person. If you are winning a lot, you will learn if you are an egocentric guy or you're like down-to-earth person. If you are very rich, you will learn about this guy if he's thinking, oh, fuck off, man, leave my good cheese alone. Or, if you are losing hard, if the guy is blaming everyone, but he's not saying about himself, you also will learn about the person. So all things are actually important, and people don't think about it when they're making a team, right? They only learn about it when they win. And sometimes you're not ready to win. Your destiny is to show who you are, right, in a different way. And I think that's very important for players to understand, that it's a natural process to lose or to get rich from gaming. But you need to be yourself. You still need to grind. You need to be motivated. You don't look at the success. You need to be like a Team Duncan, right? Like, when he was asked, the guy from NBA, like MVPs, couple champions, yeah, like huge basketball player. When he was asked what he thinks about his achievements, he said, I don't know what I don't think about it. I don't know what I achieved. I don't remember. I don't check. I will think about it after I stop playing. And that's the attitude. That's how you need to build. And when you have a winning team, when you are winning, don't change the team. Just talk inside the team. Find the problem, because most of the time the problems are this tiny.
Sure,
really tiny.
Yes.
And from this piece of information, people are making this piece of of problem. And I had this. I couldn't control it in team. Like, no matter what I did, like it was sometimes not in my hands what people are thinking, because it was going ballistic, and you had to damage control stuff. So I'm just so fucking happy that we have this talk, that we actually, that I'm in this position, that I'm any kind of, worth to have the talk in these reflections, because I always thought that reflections are some sort of a place for guys who actually achieved something special, or did something good for esports. It was never about you. It was always about people you talk with, and that's why when you asked me like a couple years ago if I want to do reflections, I didn't want to do it, and we didn't have much contact because we spoke about it early. But you thought that I don't like your stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I never.
Easy to understand.
Bro, I never was a fan of your opinions about players, or about stuff. But that's who you are in front of cameras. You want more entertainment, and that's what I understood. But yeah, I wasn't a fan. But then I understood how important the reflections are. If I would come here and said, I can talk about it, I cannot talk about this as well. I don't know. I was broken. Bro, I had a couple of times that I was actually broken. I was in this
really?
depression, right? And nobody helped me. I was down there, and I went up here a couple of times, and I know it was that. I read about this stuff nowadays. I understand how it looks, and yeah, esports is rough, and not everyone can deal with this. So I just hope that we have more and more people who are responsible and can build these teams in a way they should be built.
Actually, I mean, obviously we're coming to wrap up now. Actually, a topic I'll just pick up on that I'd like to address is, I think that's one thing from listening to you talk in this interview that is actually probably quite shocking to fans who maybe only know you for the game or interviews on stage that are 5 minutes long, is I think the problem you've had is from the outside, everyone sees someone who's very confident, or maybe you're even intimidating to some people. They think you're like a larger than life character. It seems like they forget essentially, like you've had times where you're depressed too, where you've had times where you don't feel confident what's going on. You've had hard times too, right? Do you think people don't relate to you or something, or they don't see the real you?
I think that how I show myself is just confident, happy, outgoing guy, and that's how I feel nowadays. When I'm not happy, outgoing, confident, I don't show myself too much, and that's it. And I know, even my wife told me that when she saw me first time, she thought that I'm a bully.
Okay.
I was like,
okay.
What? Yeah, I thought that you're a bully. I'm like, okay. Cool perspective, man. Then she I went for a kid, for my daughter, like a couple of days. She made a picture and she showed my the picture. I was like, bro, no way. I looked like a bully, man. I look like I'm angry at everyone, and that's my just normal face. So sometimes, yeah, people might think that I'm a bully and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm human, man. We are sometimes in trouble. There's no person who's never in trouble. Like, you go through hard times, but there are people who actually don't talk about it or try to show that they are like super strong, that they are, the Rock, or the stuff like that. Like you always play your whole life. You don't show your real problems. And hey, we need those guys as well. Like, I think that we need people who are open. They talk about certain stuff, and we also need people who just don't give a fuck. They just go all in. And we need those who crumble, because we need to understand what are the issues. I just hope that we will not have more tragic situations, right? Like in the past with players, especially, because it's pain, man, to see young guys who can't handle pressure. No, I mean, not handle pressure. That's stupid. It's like the situation in life,
Sure.
And it's success. It's defeat. Everything it goes in. And our parents, I mean, my parents never understood esports. They only understand it now, and they know how much it took from me. Like, my mother was standing behind the closed door in my behind the door of my room, and she was listening to me talking with the guys like for half an hour, 1 hour, and then she was like telling me that she hears what I told my guys in other places, and I'm like, I don't care. It's like I was all about love, man. I hope that people get better by playing with me, by by being around me. That's what I want to actually accomplish. I was thinking about myself when I was younger, but with time, I actually found that I'm a better as as someone who enables others, and
Oh, I see. Right.
that's what I want to do. I never saw myself as a leader. I never saw myself as a guy who is this I don't know, bully or anyone. I was just myself, and I evolved understanding that, bro, it's all about enabling other guys, enabling teams, or even people around.
Maybe you addressed some of it there, but at the end of the interview, traditionally, I always ask people, do you have a final message? Is there someone you want to thank or say hello to?
Yeah, let's say that I want to thank all my guys I played with. Like, it was rough during this time we played, and there were good and bad moments, but I just hope that we made a lot of people proud, and that fans will always remember the best times, and they will support us. And I'm just grateful to everyone who was supporting me during this time, and grateful to people who didn't cancel me when the things went south. So much love, and thank you, Duncan, for this interview.
Dziękuję.
Thank you.
For many years of my career in esports, it really was just me. I did it all. I was the one person driving myself forwards. I didn't have people around me to help me. But actually, one thing I've learned over the years is the value of a support network. And mine is, of course, the Skrilluminati, my Patreon community. So this video, like many on my channel, was made possible by Ahmed Hadju, Frisky, Matt Pugnaccio Racula, Animosity, Bot Pounder 420, Jensen Gore, Tobias Bernasconi, Tosh, Toucan, and as always, you know it, a special thanks goes out to Jerky's Minion. Would you like to suggest a topic or a guest for my content? Do you want to ask a question for my regular AMA? Do you want to find out teasers? Who are the guests for the upcoming interviews? I often do. Maybe you want to be part of those long discussions where we can talk about whatever you want in esports. Well, if any of those tickle your fancy, put your money where your mouth is and join the Skrilluminati today. Support my content via the Patreon link in the description box below.